people who interact with me would never guess that I'm autistic, and this is for two reasons. The first being a complete misunderstanding of what autism actually is. And the second reason is because I have been forced to suppress my autistic traits in order to fit into a neurotypical world. I observe the social dynamic around me before carefully choosing and putting on the personality that I feel will best fit the situation. I trade in my most obvious stims for ones that are a little more subtle. This is a very common autistic coping skill called masking, and it's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Hey friends, welcome to my little corner on the interwebs. If you're new here, my name's Kathlena and I'm autistic with a heavy dash of ADHD. I make videos about autism, neurodiversity, and my experiences as a late diagnosed autistic woman. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to subscribe and like this video. Masking can be seen across the spectrum of autistic humans, but does seem to be a more common experience among girls and women. This is likely why so many women don't receive a diagnosis until later in life, if at all. Masking is the ability to observe human behaviors and perform those behaviors deemed more socially acceptable, while suppressing behaviors viewed as socially unacceptable. Masking has a ton of consequences, including extreme exhaustion, negative mental health implications, a poor sense of self, and the very real possibility of a lifetime of misdiagnosis. The motivation for masking is often a desire to fit in, or at least not stick out so much. For myself, I started masking as early as I can remember, but I had no idea that that's what I was doing. I genuinely thought that everyone just pretended to be something they weren't. Early on, I learned the phrase, fake it till you make it. And I honestly believed that if I pretended long enough, that eventually it wouldn't feel like faking anymore. After a lifetime of pretending, I never stopped feeling like an imposter. Instead, I completely lost all sense of who I actually am. And when it came time to take the mask off, I was left with a person I didn't recognize. Masking at this point is mostly unconscious for me. I have a very surface level mask for checking out at the grocery store or the coffee shop or my son's school pickup. I have my professional mask for when I'm at work or around grown-ups. Yes, I still refer to adults who seem to have their shit together as grown-ups. If I'm not sure what mask a situation calls for, I will intensely observe and mimic those around me, or I will quietly disappear into the background. Masking is exhausting. The amount of thought that goes into forced eye contact and choosing the appropriate mannerisms as well as a response in a conversation is draining. Simple interactions take a lot out of me, but by far the situation where masking really impacts me is my work life. I am never not thinking about how I'm supposed to be acting when I'm at work. A few hours in the office can require an entire day of recovery for me. This is a common experience among many working autistic individuals. Accommodations are few and far between, and unfortunately, masking to some degree is required for most jobs. The consequences of constantly masking are typically burnout and can make holding down a full-time job long-term feel impossible. I'm curious to hear from other working autistic individuals how you deal with burnout. Does your work provide you accommodations? And if so, what are they? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments how your work supports you. Since learning that I'm autistic and what masking is, I've become a lot better at recognizing when I'm doing it and trying to do it less. It hasn't been easy breaking down those walls and allowing myself to do the things that society and people around me throughout my life said weren't normal. Finding my authentic self is work, but it's work that I really believe is worthwhile. I think this channel is an outlet for me to find myself again, a place where I can practice unmasking, allow my authentic self to come through, and trust that my community will support me. My goal for this year is to post a new video every week. Fingers crossed. I've got a new baby, but I'm gonna do my best. I really I feel a lot more motivated now that I'm not pregnant anymore and I'm kind of settling into a routine. So that is my goal. And I have a lot of video ideas, but I would love to hear from you what you would like to see. So definitely let me know in the comments. That's it for today's video, friends. I hope that you enjoyed. Remember to be kind to yourself, and I will see you in the next video.